So I've been designing in Silicon Valley for over a decade, and I've seen a lot of fly-by-night shit. Remember when people thought it was cool to flex this kind of stuff on their LinkedIn profile? I don't even know where to begin with that shit. But right now, grifters are hawking AI as either a cure-all drug or the end of society as we know it. And while I reject these charlatans' claims, I do believe that AI is here to stay. Why? Because AI has become an abstract term that has evolved over decades to fit either marketing needs or to vaguely describe advancements in computational algorithms. So when I hear someone say AI is the future, it's essentially them saying computing or data is the future, which makes me be like, oh yeah, okay, that's cool. It's just so vague and means absolutely nothing to me. However, advancements in technology, regardless of how abstract they may be, pushes forth the economy, society, and my ability to afford my sinfully expensive apartment and lifestyle. So, as a product designer, one skill I've been practicing is how to utilize esoteric trends in tech and package them up so my mom can use them. And AI is a beast to explain to my poor mom. However, if I was going to unpack one core concept of designing for AI, it would be context. Because when designing for AI, it is vital that designers understand how to control, organize, and direct context to make things actually work. Now, as product builders, we're already used to working with information and data to create great experiences. But when it comes to designing for AI, it's a different beast entirely. Now, I've been practicing AI design for roughly 6 months, and like XR design, designing for AI is so new that no one's really talking about it. Instead, creators are often designing with AI and not designing for AI. So what's the difference? Well, today I want to briefly talk about that and just a few challenges that designing for AI brings with it. So if that sounds interesting to you, let me know in the comments down below, like, subscribe, check out this video, and let's dive into it. Cool. Okay, so before we dive into the difference between designing with AI and designing for AI, it's important to recognize that the creative process is a multi-layered and complex one. Just because you can make a deliverable doesn't mean it's valuable or even useful. And at the end of the day, it's about how a creative wields tools and not the tools themselves. And like any creative instrument, what AI allows users to achieve comes down to two things: the tool's design and the creator's imagination. And while some people think AI can help them skimp out or over the creative process, they will get shit like this. I don't really want to talk shit right now. So with that said, let's break down the difference between using an AI tool to build deliverables and designing an AI tool itself. So let's start with building with AI. Building with AI is the ability to use context to speed up workflows and create deliverables. To do so, users often rely on a tool or tool sets that are specialized in bucketing and sorting different forms of context to achieve a desired result. However, designing for AI, on the other hand, is far more complex and abstract. The best way I can describe it is this: instead of focusing on one static flow and pushing pixels, you're designing systems that work with dynamic data sets. And in many ways, it's about helping AI gain, sort, and structure context in real time. Now, to do this, designers need to craft visible and invisible constraints with data to help AI deliver consistent and dependable results. And this is much easier said than done. Too much context will confuse AI and could cause hallucinations or faulty results, and too little context can leave AI output to be vague and unreliable. And yes, hallucinations also happen here. And this is the challenge: figuring out how to craft meaningful constraints while keeping the system as flexible as possible. And this is what makes designing for AI such a fascinating and frustrating challenge altogether. So, to initially solve this problem, products have relied on natural language chat. Why? Well, primarily because chat as an input is cheap, relatively easy to build, and has well-established affordances. And if you want me to make a video on chat, let me know in the comments down below. But the problem with chat is that it's kind of a lousy way to structure context and data. Now, if you're an avid user of ChatGPT or Claude, you will likely see them try to address these issues with what I call segmentation. These forms of segmentation often come in the forms of canvases or artifacts. And while segmentation does help to a certain extent, these chats still suffer from context being way too broad to do more micro things, thus making AI flounder and more challenging. And contextual failures via conversation isn't just an AI challenge, it affects human discourse as well. I mean, if you've ever played Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is why crafting clean context constraints is so critical. AI thrives when it knows the rules of the game, what to focus on, what to ignore, and how to process that data. And in my opinion, chat is often a poor input for that. But here's the conundrum. While chat struggles with being too broad, inputs that are too narrow have their own set of problems. Take creative AI tools like Krea. They experiment with new context inputs to try to solve these problems. However, this approach often results in lack of control, hallucinations, or just plain confusion. On top of that, these narrow input systems are incredibly expensive to productize, build, and are often really slow. So is there a sweet spot? Well, I think that there is. Node-based tools like comfyui, my main crush right now, both allow users to define context with flexibility and constraints while allowing accurate and dynamic results. On top of that, comfyui's node-based GUI and ability to switch out models grants nearly limitless mediums to play with. Best of all, these narrow inputs and datasets are crafted by open source communities and are often free. That's right, they're free. If you have a decent computer, you will be able to create nearly anything you want for no money. And for these reasons, comfyui is quickly becoming the professional standard for AI generation. I mean, just look at the prices of this and just think of free. Which one's better? But seriously, when everything is said and done, there are still endless inputs that need to be crafted, tested, and used in AI. And as AI evolves, so will tools, APIs, and the abilities to structure said context. And if you're a builder like myself, I would just ask yourself and consider one thing. You need to be able to weigh the cost benefit of what you build with the advancements in the medium itself. And if you don't do that, you're kind of screwed. So why does this all matter? Why is it important to understand the difference between designing for AI and with AI? And why is mastering contextual inputs vital for product design? Well, in short, if you're designing for AI, you're not just shaping the user experience anymore, you're shaping how AI and humans collaborate together. And as the world turns, technology and mankind will continue to merge for better and for worse. Now in this video, I covered a lot and may have been a teeny weeny bit of a reductionist. However, working a full-time job building this kind of stuff while running a Discord, making videos, building worlds means I have limited time to put these videos together, or these essays, I should say. However, if you're interested in learning more about comfyui, context inputs, or the future of design, let me know with a like, subscribe, and if you want to check out a cool video, check this out and join the Mainly Human Design Discord. That's right, we renamed our Discord from XR Design to Mainly Human Design. Why? We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so with that, take care, plus minus, and I'll see you next week. Peace.